And we're back, YouTube. Thank you for tuning in. As always, I appreciate that. And today let's talk about Horizon's Zero Dawn. It's an open-world third-person action game. And what I like most about this game is the world design, which is just fantastic. It's a primitive, tribal world atop of a fallen, decayed, and obviously more technologically advanced one, often referred to as the Old World. The Old World was way more advanced than New World, which I find kind of ironic. And the world is full of these robot beasts that you hunt throughout the game. And the production values of this game are great, really great. I mean, the graphics look crisp and varied and just beautiful to watch. And the sounds are well designed, well recorded. It's the orchestral music really fits the bill. It's full on fantastic, really. I just can't praise it enough. And also the narrative is very strong. I mean, the central character of Aloy, I mean, she's really immediately sympathetic, as well as interesting, as her past is shrouded in mystery. So she's a very memorable character, and unfortunately that cannot be said about the many other characters you'll meet throughout the course of the game. And this is where The Witcher actually does it better. Besides Geralt, the world of The Witcher is full of memorable, crazy, wicked characters. But still, Horizons takes cues from The Witcher in terms of the writing, which is great, and you can tell a lot of thought has been put into the story and the themes that it touches upon. But how does it play? Well, it plays pretty much identical to any other open world game that you've played before. I mean, this is not an open world game where you can go anywhere and do anything. Don't expect that. Because as a player, you follow a fairly straightforward path as quests have suggested levels, and it just doesn't make sense to do a level 20 quest when you're level 12, so that is straightforward. Even more straightforward is the fact that you can literally be walking on a path and there happen to be an NPC just waiting for you with an exclamation mark on top of his head, indicating that this is a quest giver.
There's danger ahead, girl.
Danger for you, Outlander. This is Norland.
Yes. Trespass is forbidden on pain of death.
Now, another example is that when a quest giver is at location A and tells you to meet him at location B, so you go there immediately, and the NPC ends up there seemingly through magic or teleportation. And just this gets me out of the game. This is not very immersive. Also, the traveling merchant, who is, well, conveniently placed right next to the bonfire where you can save him, is also another example of that, I think, immersion that's not really here at times. These things just get me out of the game. They kind of give me the impression that this world is specifically catered for you, the player, and it's all just so convenient. But it's not very organic. It never feels like this world is lived in, or it's a living, breathing world in a way. You know what I mean? It's just not as immersive as I would have hoped. And I'm not going to describe in detail all the open world elements of this open world experience, because you know what they are. I mean, Horizons has all the equivalents of detective vision, radio towers, skill trees, parkouring, you name it, and it's in here. What I do want to talk about is the resource gathering. I don't like the resource gathering in Horizons. I find it a bore. It's taken directly from games like Far Cry 4, where you need to hunt animals for resources. Remember that? I mean, you shoot animals, pigs, birds for meat, leather, you cut wood for arrows, you pick flowers for healing purposes, and all these resources can be used in a menu to upgrade pouches, to craft stuff, I mean arrows and all that. And I just don't like that. I don't like getting out of the world and into a menu. And working from a menu, again, I think is not very immersive. There are other ways to do that in the game world. See where I'm going with this review? It's not always immersive, this game, and immersion for me is really important. And it gets even crazier when in combat. I mean, I'll talk about combat later, but when you're in a fight and you're out of arrows, you just press a button, you go into the menu, you craft more arrows, you press again, you're back into the fight. It's very convenient, I have to say. I mean, it's great to craft stuff on the fly, but it's not very immersive. And it's weird because they have done so much work to make this world so well realized. And then you get all this stuff that gets you out of it, and it's just, I don't know. I don't know why they choose to do that, really. But back to the combat. Well, I really like the combat with the bow and arrow. That is just great. I mean, it's great to fight all these robot beasts, finding weak spots on their plating and all that. And it's just, exploiting these weaknesses is really great. But the melee combat, the hand-to-hand combat with the spear is just freaking all over the place. I mean, enemies are very hard to hit when they have a tendency just to jump out of the view of the camera. And it's weird because at times on the normal difficulty, you don't even have to kill the beast, one of the bosses, or the boss beasts, or whatever they're called. You don't have to completely deplete their health bar. Mostly 3/3 of the health bar you have to deplete, and then the battle just ends, which is kind of weird at times. Next up, I would like to talk to you a little bit more about the stealth. I mean, stealth is an option. It's pretty much as in Assassin's Creed, where you move from one bush of tall grass to the next one, pressing a button when prompted for an instant kill. I mean, this stuff is satisfying for a few times, but then it just becomes repetitive, and I'd rather go in guns blazing, right, so to speak, which is a lot more action-packed to do. But it's, again, this game combines all these elements, all these things that you've seen before, and it never really breaks out of these tropes, right? These open-world tropes. And Horizons offers, in that sense, sort of an interesting paradox, if you will. I mean, it's Sony's new IP, it's its new flagship, and it deserves every credit for taking the risk in the time where AAA gaming seems to offer the same experience over and over again each year. But in doing so, it is also an accumulation of things that you've seen and done before in countless other games, making this a riskless affair, hence the paradox, right? It takes a risk, but in the end it's riskless. And it puts in the work, and it does it well, and I'd say that this game is for the masses. It's the yearly blockbuster movie that you want to see. It's that guilty pleasure, and you want to experience that. And even at its most bombastic moments, in the end, it's not a hugely memorable game somehow, and it just lacks that spark of genius. It lacks that genuine feeling of caring, and it misses the emotional mark at times. It sticks too much into the familiar territory of the open world formula. It could have been something truly special, but again, it is a very, very good game. So, that's my take on Horizon Zero Dawn, and I hope you understand where I'm coming from. Let me know what you think, and see you next time.